16 teams containing 3 marbles are about to race down this loop-to-loop track in hopes of getting the most points. Each marble has to complete as many loops as possible to earn the most amount of points. Stay on the track is 1 point, fall off track but stay on table is 0 points, fall off table is -1 point. Complete both loops and that's going to be 2 points. First up is Serpent, and they have 1 marble making through both loops but also has that same marble falling off the table, so that's going to be just 1 point. We see the first and third marbles not even make it through the first loop, and so that's what's preventing them from even getting 1 point essentially. And we see the silver marble that managed to complete both loops but also falling off, that's going to be just 1 point. The second team up is Twilight Twister, and they're off. They have 1 marble managing to make it through the first loop but not the second, and that was the third marble from that team. You see, the first 2 marbles, they don't even complete the first loop, and so they also have 1 point as the Serpent does, and that's going to put them in a tie for first place. Team 3 is Amethyst, and they have 2 marbles not even complete the first loop. The third marble does complete the first loop but also falling off the table, resulting in -1 points. You'll notice they also nearly landed on the other side of the second loop. Instead, they have no points. Now Ocean Cat's Eye is up. All 3 complete the first loop but not the second, but still 3 points is going to be enough for them to take first place momentarily. Now we get Glower Green, and they managed the second and third marbles to complete the first loop but not the second, and looking back it looked like that the third marble nearly lands on the second loop that could have given them 4 points. Instead, they'll have 2. Now Rocky Mountain, and the aggressiveness is showing. They have all 3 across the line, but the first and second marbles, though, can't control themselves and go off the table. But still, 4 points gives them the top spot. 7th team up is Leopard, and they manage all 3 through the first loop, but none of them can even complete the second loop. That's kind of like what happened to Ocean Cat's Eye just a few runs ago, and it leaves them with 3 points. We are now halfway through with the 8th team up being Cotton Candy, and they managed 1 marble to complete the entire course, but also that first marble falls off the table, resulting in -1 point and just 1 point total for the whole team. You can see that they hit off the wall and cannot control themselves when they hit off the pillar. Just goes to show that that is very crucial into falling off the table. And now we get Sea Strikers. Let's see if they can strike into the top spot, and it looks like that they are able to get 2 finishers and 1 also falling off the table. The first marble completes the first loop at a very awkward angle and has no speed to complete the second loop, but they do collide with the first marble, leading to his fall from the table. The 10th team up is Rainbow. All 3 complete loop 1 but not the second, leading to 3 points. The third marble completes loop 1 at a very weird angle, and none of them can even have any speed to complete the second loop at all, putting them tied with other teams at 3 points. Now we get Space Black as the 11th team, and they have 2 marbles that can't even complete the first loop. That was the first and third marbles. The second one can complete loop 1. Rumor has it that he had no speed after completing the first loop, leading to his fall from the second loop. Potentially exhausted, we now get Coral Crushers, who are not exhausted, and they're released. All 3 complete loop 1, and the first one completes the second loop but also falling off the table, results in a missed opportunity at being tied with Rocky Mountain and Sea Striker for the top spot. You can see they hit off the pillar, a similar mistake that a lot of other marbles have done. After completing the second loop, we now get Magmas, and they are off. The second marble completes loop 1, and it looks like that the first marble falls off the table from the other side. A very rare incident. We can see that they actually jump over the barrier with a ton of speed and going over the marble base, fortunately not colliding with anyone. Our third to last team is Red Rangers, and they have all 3 completing loop 1. The first marble completes the second loop but also falling off the table, and unlike some of the other incidents, we see a collision between the first and third Red Ranger marble, leading to the former falling right off the table and a -1 point. Our penultimate team is Aliens, and everyone cannot complete loop 1. Loop 1 shaked enough for everyone to fall off. The first and second marbles collide, and the first marble is rolling on the table and has enough speed to fall off the edge, resulting in -1 point. Not good. Our last team up is Deep Blues, and they managed 2 marbles to complete loop 1. The second marble completes the second loop but also falls off, resulting in -1 points and leaving them 1 point short of the 5-way tie for third place. The cause doesn't look like a marble collision, but instead it hit off the barrier. 5 teams, Ocean Cat's Eye, Red Ranger, Rainbow, Leopard, and Coal Crusher, will be going 1 down for a bronze medal, while Rocky Mountain and Sea Striker go 1 time down for the gold medal, meaning we have 2 tiebreakers, something never before on the channel. First, we have the bronze tiebreaker, with the first team up being Oshi Cat's Eye. They managed 2 marbles through loop 1. 1 marble nearly lands on the second loop that would have given them 3 points instead. They not only failed to do so, landing on the rail, but they also fall off the table, resulting in just 1 point, not good in a bronze tiebreaker. The bronze fate rests on the other teams, with the next team up being Red Ranger, and they managed the first marble through the first loop, and that's all they can muster, putting them in a tie with Ocean Cat's Eye for the 3rd place spot. Let's see if the 1-point barrier can be broken by Rainbow, and they are off, and they managed 1 marble through the first loop, and that's it. So the first 3 teams have gotten 1 point in this bronze tiebreaker. Our next team up will be Leopard, and they managed for all 3 marbles through the first loop, and it looks like that the first 2 complete the second loop, and it looks like a shove from the second marble helps the first marble go out of the course. Still 3rd place. Let's see if Cold Crusher can beat the 4 points. And even with this marble completing the course and falling off, it's not going to be enough to even come close to Leopard's 4 points. And we can see that the first marble hits off the wall enough to fall off the table. With Leopard as our bronze medalist, 2 teams, Sea Striker and Rocky Mountain, will go 1 time down for the gold medal. Choose your team. First is the Rocky Mountains. All 3 complete loop 1. The first 2 complete the second loop, but they both fall off the table, resulting in 3 points. It's not entirely the first marble's fault as he collides with his teammate falling off. The benchmark is now set for Sea Striker. Can they beat the 3 points? They won't be able to. Even with this minus 1 point, the last 2 marbles fell off the first loop, and even though they knew they were going to lose, they still put up a good effort in the end. Congratulations to the Rocky Mountains for winning this tournament on the tiebreakers, and subscribe for more.